If you've ever wasted away an entire evening on Pound's website using their bag builder, hit that thumbs up button. You found your home. This is the right channel for you. If you've ever screenshotted the bags you've built and then realized it's 2 a.m. and too late to send those pictures to your friends, so you do it the next morning, you're in the right company. Also hit that subscribe button. Enough of the silly intro. I'm here today to talk to you about the Pound Octohaul. This is one heck of a bag. It's the most expensive retail bag made. This setup that I have here is retails $560. There's really not another bag that comes close to that, and we're going to address whether it's worth it. Spoiler, to me, it is. I see value in that, and there's quite a few reasons why. I know that it's not for everybody at that price, but there are a lot of really cool things about it. We'll start off with the weight. This haul weighs 1.96 kilos compared to the new style of the Thorpe, which is 1.71. So it is a chunk heavier, but it's not a huge amount. That still beats out a number of other bags. For example, the Grip AX4 is heavier than the Haul. The Prodigy BP1 V3, the Guru bag, and on. There's others that are a whole lot heavier. For the amount of discs that this carries, it is one of the lightest bags made, and I would say it is for sure the most comfortable bag made. The thing that really sets this apart comfort-wise, and you may already be familiar with this if you've watched my video on the Octothorpe, it is how soft the construction is on this. We don't have a bunch of hard, stiffened panels that makes the bag feel boxy. When you put this on your back, the panel just wraps to conform to the shape of your back. Both the back of the bag and the sides are soft, so all that you have down there is the actual discs, and the rest of the bag really wraps around you. It's kind of a misconception that you need a bunch of thick padding on the back of a bag. You can see that they've put one large padded panel there, and it's not, protruding by 1.5 inches like you see on some other bags. And when you do see those big, like, blocky chunks, it really kind of is an illusion of comfort. The rigidity of the bag is so much more important, and the softer that you go, the more comfortable the bag is going to be. What you do get with those big blocky chunks that you see is potentially some airflow, and I don't know the reality of that, but I understand how that could help. You get some, like, a little cross breeze or draft or whatever, and that might help, dry some of the sweat in your shirt or whatnot. You're definitely not going to have that happen with a flat back like this, where you get a lot of surface area. Another unique thing about this bag is the way that the straps are designed. I've been criticizing some other bags and seeing these adjustable, like, load lifters or whatever, and it just doesn't make sense to put them on a bag that doesn't have a waist strap. They really do serve a purpose here. That piece where the webbing connects, it is actually the main connecting point load-wise. Like when you pick it up by the straps, or when you're just wearing it, that is the piece right there. That connecting point is where the weight is transferred. The reason that it needs to be there is because the bottom of the strap is connected with snaps, and that makes the strap replaceable. I can thread this back out and do the same on the webbing down here and completely take the backpack strap off, which is a really cool feature. I've not seen straps on a Pound bag that have gotten so trashed they need to be replaced, but the potential is is there that you could replace the straps on your bag if you own it long enough to really wear those out. I'm struggling a little bit to get that second button in. I'm just going to leave it. You do have the sternum strap on here as well, and it is adjustable. It's not super quick, but it's also not super slow. You don't have to, you know, undo that buckle or anything. You can pretty easily just get it to slide up there. I've taken the tail and dressed it a little bit to get that out of the way. You just poked it right through that piece so that you don't have that tail hanging down there. On some bags, I find ways to keep that tail secured, and other bags I don't, but it's a really nice fit to keep it off to the side on the pound bag. The center of this bag you're probably familiar with. It's really not a whole lot different than what we've got on the Octothorpe. So I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. This is a little bit overloaded compared to how I would normally carry this bag. This is maybe a little bit more of like a tournament loadout where I've got doubles and triples of almost every disc in here. But I wanted to show you what it's like when it's near packed, and that's why I have so much in here. I do like to carry 4 putters up on top, and those fit in there totally fine. There's no like stretching or anything crazy that's needed to get 4 putters in there. I've even got a whale sack sitting in there next to it. As you can see, there's plenty of room for that. The flap for the putter pocket has a button on top, and that is so that you can tuck it into this flap and use the other side of that button or snap to actually secure it in place, to really make sure that when you're putting putters in and out, you're not fighting the flap. The flap isn't going to come untucked when you're pulling putters up out of there. Dead center, we've got our mini marker spot, and that's one thing that has changed, and I think Pound has gone back and forth on this. I'm not sure what they're currently doing. It might be embroidery. What's on there right now is just like an iron-on patch. It's very slick, super low profile, and that's different than, like, I've got my buddy lent me his Octothorpe here, and on this one it is a little embroidered outline on there. That's a little bit slicker, more polished look. I really like the embroidery, but I also understand that's like a whole, you know, different amount of time and cost involved. So one of the new options that they're have out there is the Scorecard Pocket, and that's what this horizontal zipper is. That's pretty new. I think they had just put that out right about when I ordered this bag, and it costs an extra $20. That's a $20 add-on for that zipper on that flap. I didn't hesitate at all to order that when I was building this bag. But to be perfectly honest with you, I've never used it. I do like the idea. I think that maybe the best time to use that is in tournament rounds where you have a paper scorecard, and especially if it's a wet round, so you're really trying to be careful where you store that. If you try to put anything bigger in there, for example, like here's my wallet. If I try to put something of that size in there, I'm really cutting down on how much room I have to pull those discs in and out. You can still see that there is enough room to get that in, but I'm digging my disc like right into whatever I have in there. So that's not an awesome home for, you know, keys or wallet or something like that. But it is a spot that you can add some more things. They've got a bungee across the front, and I have used this It's been on these bags for a while. On my older Octothorpe, I carried a stool there a few times, put the stool horizontally, and it carried really, really well, just like a pull-out tri-stool. You could also, put a jacket in there or something if you want. This isn't the bag that you're going to run out of room with. Unlike the Octothorpe for me, I really did run out of room, and that's why I upgraded and ordered this bag. The two differences size-wise on the Haul compared to the Thorpe are on the pockets on the side. The tall pocket here is wider. We get a pocket on this one with a width that's 2 inches. Compared to the Thorpe here, which is maybe an inch and 3/4, 5/8, something like that. It feels a whole lot bigger than what that measurement shows. The other difference is the Haul pocket on the side and the width on that. I'll again just pull out my tape, and I've got 4 inches versus 3. So that's an extra inch width on the like drink holder or Haul pocket on the side, and that might be what makes this tall pocket feel even that much wider. And this is kind of coming down to where I felt like I was running out of space on the Octothorpe, especially in like tournament style rounds. Now on both of these bags right now, I have them pretty full. Like you can see, I've got room. I can spread those discs if I really wanted to fit a couple more in there, but it's tight. They're both packed tight, and then I've got Nalgene's and water bottles in the side pocket here. And to show you a difference of how much more room you have in the tall pocket, I'm going to use a second Nalgene and try to stack it right along the first. You can see that I'm really stretching stuff out to try to get it in this one. I'm risking busting some seams if I really push that in hard. It's not going to fit. And that is in great contrast to what I can do inside the Haul. That Nalgene slides in there without a problem. When you start loading these things up and stuffing both in the Haul pocket and in the tall pocket, it also starts pushing in on your discs. So the problem kind of compounds. Like even a Nalgene, that's a pretty ridiculous thing to try to jam in there. But even if I just use like a small jacket, for example, in the Haul, it just soaks that jacket right up. It's kind of disappeared down into the bottom of that pocket. It's sitting really low in there. It packed in no problem, and it's had very little effect on the discs pressing against each other. I can't pull that same maneuver with the Thorpe. You can see already I'm having issues even getting the jacket down into that space. It will go in there, but it doesn't sit as low. It's up into the zipper, and you can see how the bag is starting to stretch there to make up for the room, and the pressure that it's putting on the discs is much greater on this bag. Now they have changed. When you order even a Thorpe, they do now have an option where this tall pocket you can upgrade for $10 and get the slightly wider version that you have on the Haul. And I would say that's very worthwhile. It's still not necessarily going to give you all of the capacity that you have with the Haul because of how much bigger these pockets are out here. And it'd be really hard for me to recommend anybody getting a Thorpe over a Hall. Like the difference just isn't great. It's like it's $15. So unless this, like this, the style of these compression straps really bug you, which I have heard people say that they just don't like the style of it, then I would totally recommend going straight to the Hall instead of the Thorpe because of the carrying capacity. If you're really trying to carry extra layers or extra fluids, it's an awesome way to go. A couple of the other new changes on this compared with how they were building bags in the past, like my older Thorpe, for example, the sleeve that they've got here to carry an umbrella, it was one tall sleeve with just elastic at the top, and they've gone away from that. What we have now is these pieces of elastic. There's one here and then one just a bit lower down. You can see right here. So if you're poking an umbrella in, you have to thread it through those two spots, or like a quick stick or whatever. That is a little bit harder to use, especially if, like, for example, you've got a jacket jammed in there. That's going to be hard to like thread down and find that second elastic loop, but it did save them a chunk of weight. You can see also, and like this is so well done, they've got a specific spot for golf size pencils that holds them at just the right height, and then next to it they've also got a spot that is just also the perfect height for dropping a Sharpie in. That is so simple to do, and it's missed by so many bag companies. To have those two specific sizes are really important. I really like the top pockets that they have here. The size on them is just so good. And this one, I've got my wallet and my keys in there. It's just the perfect size for those two items, and there is even a bit more room if you wanted to put some other stuff in. On the other side, we have one larger pocket with elastic, and that's generally where I'm putting my phone, and then like I've got my buddy made me a wooden scorecard, which is pretty sweet. I keep that in there too. Another feature you can see I got sunglasses poking out here, and I didn't notice this the first couple times that I used this bag, but there's a little kind of a clamshell pocket they have there. So you can lift the top flap, and like there's not a better pocket for sunglasses. You don't have to use the top flap for some other things if you wanted to drop, keys or, some gum or whatever you want, or other small items inside there. It'd fit just fine. And then generally this pocket out here is unused. I'm not often using those pockets on both sides. One thing that I really like about this bag is that, like, as I have it loaded right now, like I told you, I've got doubles of almost everything in here. But a lot of times when I'm going out, I'll have a stack of discs that I kind of want to test. They're either things I haven't used in a few years, or I've gotten some new discs in, or in this case, I've got a batch of Halo destroyers that I've tracked down and have been testing. And these huge haul pockets on the side let me just throw in an extra 4 or 5 discs, no problem, without having to pull any of my normal discs out. So it's just perfect for me when I'm carrying and testing a bunch of other stuff. The contrast to the Octothorpe, they do have, like, this one is custom. I ordered it with just the colors. I picked the colors, the zipper and the fabric and everything, and you can get the Thorpe in the limited edition for $375 right now. That's a huge contrast to like the $560 that this retails for. However, part of that extra cost that I spent on this one is a $65 rainfly. So even if you get the limited edition Thorpe plus the $65 rainfly, then you're up to $440. If you do the custom Thorpe, it's $450 base, You can do the tall pockets for an extra $10 if you want the wider tall pockets. Scorecard flat for $20, and then again Rainfly for $65, and that's where you're getting to the $545. That's the point where this is only $15 more at $560. Like the base on this is $475, and then the extras I paid for are the $20 for the Scorecard, and then $65 for the Rainfly. The Rainflies on these bags are sweet. They're really well done, and you can pick them in a number of colors. They've got magnetic closures. You can see the older style I've got in the last video, and the new style is really pretty similar. They've just made a few changes so that it fits the Haul and the Thorpe both. So that's about it. I still stand by saying it's just the most comfortable bag that's made that I've tried. And I've tried quite a few bags. If the price I know still is super high, and that's just not for everybody, and that's totally fine. You can buy really good bags for a third of this price, and you can have great durability out of them as well. But if you simply want the most comfortable bag that I can recommend, this is it. If you want the ability to pick some really cool fabric combinations, well, you're gonna have to buy a pound because nobody else is offering that. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Jump into the comments. Let me know how many hours you've spent on the bag builder, picking different color layouts, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.